I don't play off of any physical media anymore. I haven't in the last 10 years. Like as soon as the Xbox One and PS4 generation, I just was like, I'm just downloading these games. I'm not going to bother going to the store.
Right. And I would ask your audience or other people just to think in a decade from now, you and I will be like 70 or 80 years old in a decade from now, right? Think about your smart TV has enough compute in it to play games.
Mhm.
And maybe the only problem is storing them. I want to get into all that, but just think about your smart TV has the compute to play games. Your smart TV already has a lot of people have that. We're able to cloud stream with an Ethernet cable plugged in, and then they're like, this is like the real thing. Or imagine a handheld that has a bigger screen, doesn't have to be so weighty or so. In the future, tech will always shrink, stuff will get better. Like these things will change the way we play games, and I think in the next decade, consoles will become like I treat my CD player and my Blu-ray player, which I don't really use. And that future actually could be really cool. And we'll say, oh yeah, I love back in the day when you bring home your game or you download it and install it onto your SSD. We'll always look back and say those things are great, but I think the future will change. And PlayStation knows as much as Xbox. They're just not in as much of a tight situation where they'll need to make their IPs more ubiquitous to everybody in their own way. Because like when you said God of War, like you're talking about their big single player, first party tentpole franchises. They want those to keep pushing the PlayStation sales up because they're not slowing down. And if I was working there, I wouldn't do that either.
Right.
Somebody
why change till you have to? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Somebody at PlayStation looked at the numbers and said, look, if we hold those games for a year on console, we'll make enough money on the PlayStation sales that will offset what we could get on PC. Well, on Xbox, the opposite is true, where they're like, we don't really make a lot of money on the console and Game Pass comparatively to put those games on PC day and date and put a few of them on PlayStation. Now, before we get into that, I am at the point right now where I think most Bethesda games and all of ABK games, I'm just going to say most of ABK and Bethesda games will launch day and date on all platforms that are available because they have all these franchises. But if Activision's working on a brand new franchise for Xbox, maybe they're already planning that to be multi-plat. But Xbox wants to be one of the biggest publishers and they want to give you, it's weird, right? Because they're like, we have like 4 different console models and we have different price tiers. We want you to play on the where is it? Yeah. We want you to play on the G Cloud. We want you to play on PC or a handheld. We're going to make a handheld. That was a pretty cool conversation too. So the landscape's changing and Xbox certainly can't do what PlayStation or Nintendo are doing. They'll never make it.
Right.
They already have that market.
It feels like this is their sailing into the blue waters moment that Nintendo did from the GameCube to the Wii generation, where they were looking at it and they're like, there's no way, like both Microsoft and Sony can outspend us in hardware technology. We're getting beat up in that department despite having their great IPs. Nintendo's numbers were going down, 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 and their handheld was doing just fine. We then see them shift into the blue water strategy where we're like, you know what, y'all fight it out. We're going to go be different and we're going to make money on the sale of the console. Now, PlayStation.
What a dumb thing to do too, is to come up with this Wii concept and hope it would work.
Oh, and
that had to be scary.
But then they follow it up with the Wii U. And then it's like the least with the Wii U, we get to the Switch. And so like, I don't necessarily, I like Nintendo and as I'm a professed Nintendo fanboy, I like Nintendo in so much that there's things that they anger me about, but yet I still hand them money. So I'm a part of the problem when it comes to why Nintendo is one of the ways they are. But beyond Nintendo, like when we look at PlayStation and Xbox in this fight, this feels like it's Xbox is going into that blue water strategy where they're going to just say, play wherever the heck you want, which they've been doing. I think the thing that has held them back, which we're seeing things like Steam Deck and the Acer and other things come out, those are cutting into that market share as well. And so I could see them bringing Steam and those storefronts into the Xbox ecosystem so that if you're a gamer and you don't want all the frustration that can be married with PC gaming, oh no, I got a driver update, or oh no, like the new graphics, this doesn't run on my graphics card, and now I gotta
don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, PCs are a pain in the butt for sure, but that's sometimes.
But if you want that streamlined console-based experience, why? Yeah, if Windows is Xbox, Xbox is
Yeah.
Windows. Their original intent was they wanted to have a Windows device in the living room because they were worried about Sony capturing that. And so, with them publishing their games everywhere, shooting to be the biggest publisher, but also not abandoning hardware, I think that's where part of the confusion comes in, because then people are trying to answer the question, why even buy an Xbox? What's your answer to that question?
Why even buy an Xbox? That is a good question, because if you buy an Xbox for exclusives, I think people buy a console for more than just the exclusives. I think one of the top reasons might be where their friends are playing.
Mm-hmm.
But now so many of their favorite games are crossplay that it's hard to get out of that mindset that, oh, I usually play Call of Duty with my friends on PlayStation. But that's all different. Or I play Fortnite with my friends on Xbox. So those things are different. The controller makes it different. The value system on the Xbox platform would get people over there. Maybe someone says, oh, Call of Duty's on Game Pass. I'll go get an Xbox. But I'm like, but you don't need to. You can play it on PC if you want to. But the market says people are playing in a lot of places. The market also shows that Xbox isn't doing as horrible as we thought they were. In North America, they're doing pretty well, but they're doing terrible on the other side of the planet. Nobody really knows about them. So the reasons to buy an Xbox is supposed to be choice and value. But Phil literally sat there with Ryan McCaffrey at the IGN interview and said exactly what you said, your words. Play wherever you want. He's like, we're making Call of Duty. Go play it wherever you want, and we'll see you online. And he also knows that money's coming right back to us, and we're going to funnel back into the Call of Duty machine and whatever ABK is doing. Yeah. So yeah, if you're asking me that direct question, why buy an Xbox? There's not really an easy answer for that. Maybe it just
I have an easy answer.
Box. I don't know.
I have an easy answer. You want to know it? If you want it, like, why buy an Xbox? If you want to, like, that's such I think a pro-consumer.
I mean, millions are buying them, right? I mean, it's not like everyone always comes up with the no one's buying Xbox, no one's going to play that game, no one likes this, that's trash. But the reality is, millions of people are buying an Xbox when Microsoft directly tells you you do not need to buy our Xbox Series S or X. And PlayStation's enjoying huge success on people still on the PS4. So play wherever you want. The landscape's changing, and exclusivity as we know it is changing in a lot of ways.
Now, I got some comments started that I'd like to kind of jump into, but before I do, based off what we just talked about, do you think we're going to see Halo and Gears, the tent poles that people currently associate with Xbox, over on the PlayStation 5?
Gears E-Day, probably not. But there was this rumored Gears collection that I thought, and I'd been told by some people, the people who are like, hey, I know stuff, that Gears collection was going to be announced at this showcase and would come to PlayStation. It's an 18-year-old game at this point.